Hey everyone, this is Amani Ciarra and you are watching Point of View.
Tell me what's your point of view? What's your point of view? Tell me what's your point of view? It is your view. Point of view, point of view. What's your point of view? It's time to hear from you. Welcome to Point of View.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to What's Your Point of View. It's your girl Amanda Has Joy, and in the studio today we have the lovely songbird, Miss Amani. Say hello to the people.
Hello.
So let's just jump right on into this because we are going to have a live performance in the studio today from the songbird. But how did you start singing? Is it something that you were born with or something you evolved into?
I guess I would say like the typical, I grew up in church, so I definitely would sing in the church choir. When it comes to me really branching out and singing, that didn't happen until I was 19 in college. So well, besides that, I mean, I sang every Sunday in church.
Wow. Okay, so I was looking at your page and I saw a saxophone. I was like, okay, sister plays the sax. How did you gravitate to the saxophone?
Middle school, you know, everybody starts in like band. I was definitely big on music, of course, as a kid. And so what better thing to do than try out band? And the saxophone, I feel like, was one of the best decisions I've ever made. The sounds are amazing. You can be so eclectic in like the styles that you take on, but jazz is like so big for me. I love jazz, I love scat, and I love having that little bit of fun with music, and the saxophone really does it, and you can really embody that with your voice too sometimes. Awesome. So yeah, that's where, and I've been playing it all the way up in college.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Do you still? I was gonna say, do you still have a sax under the bed that you pull out?
I sure do. On occasion, I'll just be in my room and I'll just like start playing, listen to some music and play along. But,
Awesome, lady sings the blues. All right, with the saxophone. Like, you need me to switch it up a little bit. Let me grab my saxophone. Yeah. But I also did I see that you're in poetry also?
Yes.
So how did that come about?
Just liking to write. I've always liked to write. In school, I loved writing. And then I'll never forget, there was like a workshop when I was in middle school, and there was someone that came and did poetry, but they kind of did it in the form of spoken word in regards to their presentation. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. And so that I just started. I would just like write little poems here and there. And then when I got in college, I went to Delaware State University, and I joined a group called Spoken Word Artists United. And then that's when my creativity really just kind of came out even more in regards to doing poetry. But I had already, that was my little go-to, my little thing before singing.
Now, when it comes to be in a network like that, I haven't had an opportunity to be in a network that big or on that level. So when you guys come together, do you actually just sit back and enjoy the poetry, or are you, as soon as they're done, you're writing and inspired? What's the energy when you go to those type of events?
It would be both of those when we would be in those type of events or have meetings with like other artists on campus. It would be both. Like you kind of sit back and everybody would perform and you get to just kind of sit back and just enjoy them. And then there were times where somebody performed and it was like, oh, I like that. And it just kind of sparks something in you. And then you start creating. And then they might say, well, just come up and share what you came up with. Freestyle, have fun. It was so awesome just to have those types of opportunities with other people that were just like me, basically.
Wow. That's awesome, just to be able to have that creative outlet.
Yes, ma'am.
Because that just adds a whole nother dynamic to, you know, when you go to college, you're growing, you're evolving.
You need an outlet.
You're transitioning. So it's just not books, but you actually have this lane where you can actually go and express yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, do you think that was a big help for you in college?
Yes, I definitely do. It helped me a lot. I think in college, it was a pivotal moment because for the first time I had freedom. Like I had like help. You know, my parents were very strict, and you know, my grandparents were how I was raised. But then when I got in college, I actually had like freedom to kind of explore. And then of course, sometimes you learn the hard way with things, and you go through things. Your emotions, different emotions are triggered. Different experiences. I got to finally date. You know, heartbreak. And I dealt with, I think, seasons of depression or seasons of feeling low. especially with, from a little bit of high school into my freshman year in college, being so involved also with like the arts as well as sports with basketball. You kind of drift because, I have a relationship with God and I'm really big on that. I definitely, share that everywhere I go because I love the Lord. And I think sometimes when you have that distance, I feel like from him, he's right there. But sometimes you can kind of get lost. And when you get lost in the sauce, like I feel like I did in college, I had other outlets as I was growing back in him, and creating music, writing about my experiences, writing about the things that I went through. It was that opportunity in those situations that were therapeutic for me and helped me a lot of times kind of get it off. That was my scream at the top of the mountain almost.
Wow, that is awesome. I don't think I've actually had an interview where I could actually dig into that college evolution season because it's important. And
yes.
Everybody don't make it out sane.
No.
And you can get lost very quickly, very easily. So to just know that, sometimes you need an outlet.
Yes, you do.
Or you need something to keep you anchored because it's a lot. Transitioning from, all right, it's time to wake up, Amani. It's time to go to school to nobody's calling me. Nobody's saying you got to get up. Nobody's saying you have to do anything, and you just kind of have to flip a switch almost. And that can kind of be like in the morning when you wake. Well, no, at night, and somebody we're waking up and somebody turning the light. It kind of takes a minute to adjust. Is that kind of like the shock between high school and college? Those first couple days, like it's a flip.
It is, because you kind of like are getting, like you're like walking into like a different door that's opening up this world that's a little bit different from what it was like. And so for me, it was entirely like a whole new world and something that kind of hit me in a different way. And it was just kind of like, wow, okay. And sometimes I feel like when you're not fully prepared for those moments, just kind of having freedom to really be on my own. I definitely didn't do everything right, didn't cross every T and dot every I, and I definitely strayed a lot. But of course, through the enduring, that's where I ended up learning and growing, becoming wiser, and just kind of, evolving ultimately.
Gotcha. Now, through the times where you kind of felt that you were, we were dealing with the depression, did you have moments where you felt like, okay, I just have to put this mask on, don't let nobody know? How did you kind of shake yourself from that?
In regard, like shake myself
from the depression?
When you get up and you gotta go to class every day, I think you have your moments, like walking to class. I definitely would have those low feelings, but then it's like you walk into a room of people and then it's just kind of like, okay, they can't know. I was so big on like, I wasn't the best, even though I did music and I did poetry. I just did not like to express my personal emotions, like just in its raw, in that raw space. I just didn't. I didn't want anybody to see me cry. I didn't want anybody to see me low. And I was known to be so bubbly on campus and the girl that's always smiling and always uppity. So I just never wanted anybody to kind of see me in those spaces. Ultimately, and the way I would shake myself, I would just kind of make yourself, like,
let's go. Come on.
You just like, let's just get it together and just make the most out of this day. And then and that's it. I mean, those like, in those private times, like back in my room or just at home, then I'd have like my moments where I just kind of felt how I felt. But ultimately it was just like, just shake it. You just had to let it go,
Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. But I think, in times like this, when we share our stories, it definitely helps other people. Because a lot of times people feel like, I'm the only one going through this, or I'm the only one that dealt with that. And sharing helps a lot of people when you hear that. So thank you for sharing.
No problem. Thank you for asking me.
So as you evolve, because in a minute we're going to take a break and then we're going to talk more about your music.
Okay.
But did you find yourself doing a lot of music in college?
Yes. Mainly because of being in SWAU. Like being in the SWAU group, Spoken Word Artists United at Del State, I think that's what really did it for me. Because every week we were meeting, every week we were being challenged by our peers to just create. And then it brought something out of me because, again, I wasn't an artist. I wasn't a singer. At first, I didn't do any of that. And they were those people that did it. And I was like, wow, I want to be like y'all, It was really cool. And so at that point, then it kind of like awoken like just another, like just like a different side of me in regards to like wanting to really just pursue music and have that be a part of like who I am and what I do and just being able to express myself. So yeah, I wrote a lot, goodness, and a lot more songs than poems. I wrote a lot though, goodness gracious. And it was awesome.
Awesome,
It was so fun.
So we are going to take a break and then we're going to talk about music when we come back. Stay right there.
You can sit here in silence, but if you don't talk, you won't get cleared for work.
In and out the city, I'm worried about where you may be. Feels like I've been here, stressing the things that I can't see. Where do you go? What do you do?
Is he taken? I'm Derek, by the way.
Who's that? No one? And that's wrong with this no one.
Remember, it don't matter what other people think about you.
Don't I know you from somewhere? Wrong shit?
Nothing.
You seem a little different. I love you. I love you.
Where do you go? What do you do without me? Without me.
It's time to hear from you. Welcome to Point of
Hey everybody, welcome back. We have Amani in the house. So Amani, I had the pleasure of hearing 2 of your beautiful songs. So talk to us about the inspiration behind Choosing Me.
Okay, so Choosing Me was a song that I wrote. I was in a relationship with someone and I was being mishandled. I feel like emotionally, mentally, physically, like I just felt like I was being mishandled. But a part of that being mishandled allowed me to realize that there were things that I was dealing with internally. And I just had enough. I was frustrated. And so I tried to do what I had to do to get out of that situation. But that person continued to reach out and continue to blow my phone up. And then when I ended up changing my number. And then they would send me emails and they were just kindly reaching out. But I just had finally had enough because I kept choosing to go back. That relationship kind of had some cycles in it. And finally I just said, I can't choose this anymore. I have to choose myself because this isn't healthy for me. And so when it came to writing Choosing Me, I wrote that song in 30 minutes before I had booked a studio session, but I was not prepared for the studio session whatsoever. And I just started reflecting on what I was going through because I was dealing with a breakup and it was terrible. And so literally I had this beat, I had this session booked and I was like, goodness, the session's today. I don't have nothing done. No song written. I just started writing. So the hook came first. The I'm choosing me. Can't you see it's over? No more roller coasters. I'm free. Indeed, from the games you played, should have never stayed. That's the hook. And so that's where I got the hook from. And then after that, I just started writing lyrics in regards to what I was experiencing with that person, the thoughts that went through my mind. But overall, the dynamic of that song took on so much more than what I ever expected it to. But yes, that was the story behind
Like
Choosing Me.
I know that some of these ladies can relate, and that's what it's all about. is that you know somebody's going to be able to relate to that and be like, that's my anthem this year. Thank you, thank you. So talk to me about Round and Round.
Woo, Round and Round. So, goodness, Round and Round, actually, I wrote that before Choosing Me. What I will say is I have had someone in my life since I was 19 years old. And of course, Choosing Me came around when me and that person it just seemed like years later, we just still couldn't get it to work. So I decided to try to move on and be in a new relationship. And so it was unhealthy. I wrote Choosing Me. But Round and Round came at the start of a change in relationship dynamic, literally between me and one of my really close friends. We were super close. And then we started branching out and being kind of romantic. And they told me they would love me, that they cared about me. We spent time all the time together, every weekend, during the week, after classes. We were traveling. I got to meet family. I just felt like, why aren't we together yet? I'm confused. It seems like, and they just kind of wanted their cake and to eat it too. They didn't want commitment. They just wanted everything that came. So then I wrote that song with Round and Round, and the bridge, it says, why bother me if you know you don't want me? Why play and say that you don't want to hurt me? In public, you keep calling me your friend. So in private, let's just keep it like we're friends, basically. Because then the hook comes, because you can't have your cake and eat it too. You must think that I'm a fool. And I wrote that song when I was frustrated. I was just mad. I was just like, oh my, I've spent all this time, trying to, do the right thing and flow. And I feel like we should be here now. But you just want to have fun. And you didn't want to tell me until after feelings got involved and we're so deep in so many years. And now you want to say, I just want to have fun. This is just a great time. You're just the person that I go to, but I still want to live life. It was kind of like he said, I want you to be like my person, but I want to live life and still branch out and have fun here and there. And I was just like, oh, that's not okay. That's not. So I wrote Round and Round, and that's where that came from.
Beautiful. Now you have a very soulful voice. Very.
Thank you.
One of those voices you could just be like,
oh my.
Vibe too. So what genre would you find yourself in, or which genre do you think you most relate to?
I would say the R&B and soul. Well, mainly soul, neo soul. But I do dibble dabble with a little bit of R&B. Round and Round is more a R&B, whereas Choosing Me is just straight up soul and jazz. So I'm pretty much in that R&B soul, neo soul type genre. I would say that's exactly where I fit.
Well, I'm excited because we are about to have a performance, but if someone wanted to listen to your music or get in contact with you because they want you to come and sing and perform at their event, how could they do that?
So on all my social medias, it's Amani Ciarra Artistry. So Amani is Amani, Ciarra, Ciarra, and then Artistry, Artistry. So that's where you can look me up on Instagram, Facebook, on music outlets, on all music outlets I'm on. You can just type in Amani Ciarra and my songs will come up, and whatever else on YouTube, you'll actually find a lot more when it comes to videos that I've made, things that I've posted, my poetry. But when you're looking for my specific songs, just type in Amani Ciarra on Spotify, Tidal, iTunes, Apple Music, whatever else, just anything in general, and you'll be able to find what you need.
Well, after her performance, you are definitely going to understand why I said she's a songbird. So we are going to take a break so she can get ready for her performance, and we will be right back.
You can sit here in silence, but if you don't talk, you won't get clear for work.
In and out the city, I'm worried about where you may be. Feels like I've been here, stressing the things that I can't see. Where do you go? What do you do?
Is he taken? I'm Derek, by the way.
Who's that? No one? They're not smiling at this level.
Remember, it don't matter what other people think about you.
Don't I know you from somewhere? What's wrong with you?
Nothing.
You seem a little different. I love you. I love you.
Where do you go? What do you do without me? Without me.
It's time to hear from you. Welcome to Point of
I thought for a second, some minutes, then I was all of the lies where you put me through. My heart you devoured. I gave you a chance and thought that you'd change. Didn't check credentials. I fell in love with potential. But baby, now I'm sick and I'm tired, fool. Exhausted every option to stay with you. So stop calling and emailing to move on now, 'cause I'm so through with you. 'Cause I'm choosing me. I'm choosing me. Can't you see? Can't you see it's over, baby? No more roller coasters. I'm free. I'm free indeed. From the games you played, should've never stayed. And now there's no more tears, and no more lies. There's no more worries, no more alibis. Keep all of your I'm sorry's. I don't want them no more. You did what you did, and you left this girl so the door is open, baby, you can go get lost. I don't need you, I'm better off alone. You blew it, boy, ain't no lover, no friend. So I'm choosing me till the very end. Choosing I'm choosing me. Can't you see? Can't you see it's over? There'll be no more roller coasters. I'm telling you, I'm free from it all. Hey, from the games you played, should've never stayed. I should've never stayed. Should've never stayed.
Life isn't always cherry blossoms and white picket fences. For me, it's cruel, lonely, and full of pain.
are facts and there are truths. That's how I define myself. I define myself because I'm the only one who can. I'm the only one who knows what I'm capable of.
On the outside, I look like I live a good life. I'm a ladies' man, popular in school, star athlete. What appears to be good on the outside may be screaming for answers on the inside.
What if I can actually make people feel things? Like what happened with Ashawn?
What are you saying?
Remember what I was telling you about my abilities? It wasn't entirely a joke.
Nah, whatever.
What is the definition of freedom, justice, and equality for the black man? And where and when is it to be attained?
Oh, we talking equality. They say the roof on fire, well let it burn like calories. I used to fill out applications hoping they hire me, knowing the color of my skin could be why they fire me. We still found a way, had to stack what you can. I remember first whip, had to grab me some rims. Leaving work, cops had me pulled over. Why you acting so tense? Is it all cause I'm black, it's my tense? Okay, tell me if I'm wrong or not. While reaching for my license and my registration can determine if I make it home or not. I got a family and they need me home a lot. Had to write this with my hoodie and Skittles in Arizona. Got me right back in my zone again. Hold up, now I'm going in, born again. Can see it from the gate, how they on the fence. It ain't about how I'm gonna win, I'm born to win. The way they quick to shoot, you would think we in a tournament. This ain't black and white with me, it's deeper than that. It's more about good and evil, now don't speak about that. Man, I should've went to law school probably. I go through trials like a court date, they judge me off my beliefs. Still I can see what I'm gonna reach. They say the kid glowed up like young boy sneaks. One more peep, we in these face masks, they can't smile hardly. They run their mouth, I'm running miles like a mile Aubrey. Young black, successful and God with them. You either stand for something or you fall victim. They act scary in sight, they think we all niggas. Look, the stereotype, it ain't my car system. It's like they Photoshop the world with raw filters. Just to crop us out, is that the large picture? When you by yourself, you see who all with ya. Cause I'm brown, trying to bring me down like dark liquor. Thought switch up, will they listen to my black scream? Tell them that we sick and tired, they say here's the vaccine. Gotta pinch myself, is this a bad dream? If we talking super woke, I just had caffeine. Spend a day in my life, come on and sightsee. Try to walk in these shoes, you look like hype beasts. And nah, I never put my soul on the price sheet. The double on the call, I treat it like scam likely. I'm unavailable, let me be more specific. I'm breathing and living, they cannot delete what is written. Man, I'm 30 years old, now I'm seeing it different. Not worried about losing nothing, look, I'm beating statistics without needing assistance. Now look, we on the mission, I don't need your permission. No, you see the petitions, oh, you plead for forgiveness. All we need is respect, so can you please get your knee off our necks? All we want is freedom.
Let it breathe, let it breathe, let it. All we want is freedom. Let it breathe, let it breathe, let it breathe. All we want is justice. One time for my freedom, 2 times for my people. All we want is equality. Last time, let it breathe. Before I take my left. All we need is Jesus.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Please know that I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. Please follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook at Amanda Has Joy. I would like to hear your feedback. I want to see it in the comments, but I also am up to taking some messages. And you can also email me at video at Comcast.net. So please be sure to know that we have to stay positive. We have to stay focused. Until next time, be blessed.